back. So let's keep moving. It was probably the cracker and almost the biggest upset of the round. Newcastle came out. They went down 16-15 in front of a big crowd to the Penrith Panthers. Does this show you how far Newcastle has come, or is this one of those, okay, we've seen Penrith aren't at their best consistently all year. Knights put in 70 minutes where they deserve to be the best team. They deserve to win this game. And it was in that crunch time where they needed someone to step up that they didn't have that, I guess, X factor like Penrith had in Nathan Cleary to clutch up the game.
No, I think they showed 80 minutes worth why they deserved to win. This game was there for the taking, and then they only lost it in extra points. So I heard, I think, should we be playing for 3 points now instead of 2, so that if it does go to a draw, each team walks away with a point, and then you're paying for that extra point in golden point. Let us know what you think, because it sounds like a good idea. Because as a Knights fan, I believe that they would be walking away from this one going, shit, we should have got a 1 point out of this, because really they deserved it. They went toe-to-toe with Penrith on Saturday night, and what a cracker game it was. Big old Lockley Miller and Dominic Young really wanted to go out this left side of the Penrith defence, and it was they should have just let them go hammer and tong on each other, because it was fun to watch. And really exciting football from a neutral standpoint. But Penrith weren't really at their best. 14 errors, 73% possession. Only 2 tries. The boot really saved them in Nathan Cleary. Whoever was kicking for Newcastle, I think it was Lockie Miller. They need to find someone better, because he wasn't really doing much from the boot. Like, he's missed, what is that, three goals.
It'll be KP when he obviously does come back into the line.
Do you really reckon he adds anything to this squad? Because you put him in.
You have to have him in the squad. You have to.
You have to? Do you really have to? Like, do you really have to?
Are you going to pay someone $1 million to sit on the sideline? Not play?
That's their fault for overpaying a bloke that hasn't really delivered.
If he stays fit on his day, he's as good as how Reece Walsh is playing at the moment. If he stays fit. Now, maybe you play him off the bench, put him in the 14, keep the current squad, bring him on in 14.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if you wanted to play in the start of the 13, you're gonna have to drop someone where this team is humming along brilliantly. They're playing off each other, they're playing for each other, and just because you got the $1 million man sitting on the sidelines ready to come on, doesn't mean you need to put him in the starting 13. As you said, maybe you put him in that role.
You got to go back. Let me throw this at you. If the Cowboys were coming in 15th and an informed JT gets injured, right? They come in 15th. They pop up. They win 4 games straightways out injured. You put in JT straight back in the lineup?
Mate, we went fucking how many games straight and made a grand final without him?
Yeah, no, but okay, he's injured. He's injured for a semi. He's injured for 6 rounds. You're putting him in the grand final if JT's fit?
No, we made it without him.
Shit. You're not putting a prime JT back into your lineup.
We're not, because we made it there without him, and we look shit without him.
Mate, a perfect example is Cooper Cronk playing with one arm, and we still played him in a final, and he still put in a man of the match performance. So that's why
Cooper Cronk wasn't even a player there. He was bloody the second coach on the field. He's just standing in the back.
That's what you need.
Like a quarterback.
But I do think, like you said, I don't know if a third point, I don't know if we're rewarding someone for going to extra time is the right thing, because then you turn it into a participation award. As long as you show up, you put in a good effort, you get a point. So I go one step further, and if that's the path that the NRL wants to go down to, scrap extra time. If it goes to extra time, it goes to 80 minutes, it's a draw.
Oh, I don't like that. I see.
Why would you reward someone for losing the game? Why are you rewarding someone for losing the game?
I'm not saying, like, don't scrap golden point, regardless if they want to.
Then how do you find a point for losing?
Like, if they
that's
don't,
what makes our generation soft is you go to an event, and even if you win or lose, everyone gets a medal.
But not really, because if you win in 80 minutes, you get the 3 points, regardless. This is what I'm hearing.
If you don't win in 90, you don't win. You lose.
Well, If you
Why don't we
draw
adapt
after,
what the rugby union does then? If you score X amount of points, you get a bonus point as well.
well, bloody fuck off the bonus
Like,
points.
I think you've either got to scrap extra time or you don't give anyone a
Nah,
point.
I
If they
like extra time because I watched an AFL game and it ended in a draw, and
I'm all for. Extra time. I
it
love extra
ended,
time.
and I turned around and went, "All right, we're ready for extra time." I went, "No," I went, "Well, what's the point of playing then?"
No, I am all for extra time. I'm not for this favor of we're going to give someone a point because they did a good effort. Because like they said, and I think we watched the same thing before we jumped on this episode. There's been 5 draws this year already, but because Newcastle lost after being resilient, now we're having that discussion. We weren't having that discussion when someone else dropped points. If this was the Roosters, Melbourne, the Cowboys last year, we're not having this discussion. It's because we feel bad because the Knights are doing so shit.
I would have this discussion.
But you haven't for the
like
last
the
4 draws
idea.
this year.
I like the idea of it. Like I like the idea of okay, you've played 80 minutes, you've drawn, so here's a point. Like I like the idea of it, but does it work? I don't think so. As you said, it's only what I'm hearing, and I'm sure the NRL will be looking into every avenue to make this game more exciting for the fans.
I reckon we just have a little field goal off 10 meters, 20 meters, 30 meters, 40 meters, 50 meters. Make it a little bit like soccer. Everyone gets a crack, and the more you score, the more you win. So it's definitely an interesting one. Obviously, Penrith did get the win. They did deserve the win. Nathan Cleary is clutch. Like, what more can you say? If he's shown that he is the Iceman in these clutch moments. But for the Dally M, you've got 4 points for Cleary. Like you said, 3 points for Lachlan Miller, who played brilliant. 3 points for Dylan Edwards and 2 points for Greg Marshew. No judiciary is coming out of this, but obviously the injuries. Liam Martin, he is going for scans, so they do expect when those scans come back from his hamstring, he will miss a couple weeks there. So another massive out after just returning. And obviously Brady Jones, same thing. He's gone for scans. I think it's a tear in the quad, and he will miss 3 to 4 weeks. So a few injuries out of it. But talk to me about that man on 4 Dally M points. Is he now known as Mr. Clutch in this current NRL, I guess, era?
Yeah, you gotta say he's Mr. Clutch, Mr. Iceman, the man with the most punchable chin in the NRL. He's silencing any critiques out there that saying he can't live up to it because he's just kicked 2 field goals and in pressure moments. Yeah, it wasn't the best one in the first one he did, but I liked how it was pushed wide, and he even ran after the ball to make sure it went dead. Like he could have just stood back and let it and watched his kick go wide, but he put the pressure on and got the repeat set, and he turns it up when he needs to, and he's there playing with a dinner suit on. Really, I believe he's walking through this whole game, with a dinner suit on.
Yeah, well, I've got to say, it's definitely going to be interesting if it gets to game 3 of Origin, it gets to the 80th minute, we go to extra time, and you've got DCE with the most field goals kicked in history versus Nathan Cleary, who's chasing him down quite quickly. It's going to be a very interesting game to see who can pop one first, but who knows? We might have that highlight in a couple of weeks when the Origin sides are on. But Baxter,